Soon as we step on the mic, man, you notice the difference. Heavenly blessed with the melanin, baby, you know that we winning. No time for the long talk, got 120 on the clock. Wednesday, 8 through 10, all the bad vibes better stop. Cause you gotta come with that energy. Casual combos, baby, come down and just sit with me. Lil' Coco be spitting that remedy. Casual combos, baby, come down and just sit with me. You better take this shit serious. She dropping knowledge on head and it's free for the play. Tap it right now if you curious. We got the ham radio going lit every A. We go from people to family to pilots. Stay with me if you got something to say. Know it's important if we go acknowledge. Speak on the business and get out the way. What you gonna say about my mama? She winning, you rockhead.
Hello, welcome to the Casual Convo Show, where we have conversations about topics that affect the community's personal and business relationships. We always have the casual convo, so you don't have to have the tough convo. I am your host, Coco, and joining me, I guess we reversed today. Up top, well, what is that? Top left, we have the mayor of Asheville, King Paul, Mr. More Than You Can See.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing?
And next to him, with her icon tonight, we have Baltimore's finest, the most creative, the Jude.
Hi, y'all.
And then next to me, right here, over this way, I'm gonna point this way, who, I don't know what he doing, probably bending down or doing something. We have my problem child, or problem panelist, Quentin Moore, aka Semantic the Iconoclast.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's going on?
Hey, y'all. Well, tonight we have a lot to discuss. We got a lot to get into, so before we start, we're gonna get into the mental health check-in. I guess I'll go first. My mental health, I'm gonna say it's good. Again, still a little overwhelmed with some things, but for the most part, good managing, but it's okay. Q.
I'm good.
Jude.
Same. My day is fine. My mental health is cool. I'm chills.
Paul.
Another day above ground. Hey, I love what my mental health, where my mental health is at today, because I love when people challenge you on stuff that you might express, and for some reason they show that their lack of comprehension puts them a level below what they're trying to talk about, maybe a few levels below. So my mental health right now is pretty good. I love when they challenge me and stuff. I love that. And when I say they, I mean those folks that think they are so much superior to everybody else. That could be anybody. So I don't want nobody getting the wrong idea.
I know that's right. All right, well, tonight, this is a Q topic, actually. We're going to discuss how AI, everybody know AI is growing, is affecting employment decisions. Like as far as when you go to apply for a job, like most employers are using AI technology to sort through the resumes. They're not even looking at it. They're just going through that. So we're going to kind of give like a breakdown on how it affects the process and all of those good things. So the first topic is how is AI affecting the hiring process? So from some research, what I have is AI affects employment decisions in two major ways by reshaping how companies hire using algorithms to screen resumes and how they manage staff using AI to measure productivity or assign tasks. This technology shifts job growth towards technical skills while introducing new legal, bias, and career mobility concerns. Before I get into a breakdown, or do y'all want me to do the breakdown first and then y'all go?
Go ahead and break it down. Break it down.
Okay, so how they hire, the algorithmic hiring. Many employers use AI to make these hiring processes allegedly faster. Candidate screening. The vast majority of the U.S. employers use AI software to scan, sort, and rank resumes based on keywords and qualifications. gotta blow that up. Hold on, y'all know I'm blind. Automated interviews. And I've experienced this one before and I hated it. Some companies are using AI platforms to evaluate video responses, analyzing a candidate's tone, language, and speech pattern to predict job success. The black box risk. Algorithmic hiring can unintentionally automate bias because AI models are trained on past successful hires. They can learn to filter out capable candidates simply because they lack the traditional background. Um, yeah, the traditional background. You don't know what that is. Legal regulations. Due to these risks, cities and states such as New York City, California, and New Jersey require bias audits and candidate notifications for AI employment tools. Before I go, we're just going to stop right there and just kind of peel those layers back on that. So since this is your topic that you thought of, Q, you go first.
Well, since I'm going through it firsthand, with the AI BS, what employers are looking for is the perfect candidate / employee, which there is none. If you had an employee that checks all the boxes that you're looking for, they obviously don't want to be paid what you're offering them, because they're going to want to be paid what they're worth. For instance, if I do everything about technology, why would I settle for a job at $30 an hour when I can get 50 or 100? The whole thing about AI is what they're trying to do is really, yeah, it helps with screening and all of this, because employees get tons of resumes, day in and day out. But you still have to put human input into the decision making and not let the machine make the decision, because you could be missing out on incredible candidates just relying on the AI. And I found that to be the case a lot of the times, because I had a job I applied for 6 months ago. Now they calling me back. I'm like, no, you told me no the first time. No means no. Well, we'll offer a higher. No, you told me no. That means no. Because one of them was like, well, we'll offer you $21 an hour. I was like, well, what about 25? Nope. No, I said the price today is not the price as of yesterday. Ain't that how that go? I told them, in order for you to have me, it's going to be $35 and up. Well, we can't afford that. Well, you can't afford me. Click them. Period.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with the process, even like talking to people who work in HR, and then even like doing the onboarding process and all of that stuff. I do agree that great candidates are overlooked. Mm-hmm. And one thing that like I was informed of, and even doing some research, when people use AI to improve their resume, it increases your chances because AI can read AI, and they're gonna pull it that way. And that's why they tell people run it through ChatGPT, run it through this, that, and the third before you pull it out, because they're looking for those keywords. So anybody can say, oh, I have this. So you can be well experienced and a great candidate, but somebody who probably may not have as much or whatever, they may get it because they have certain words, or they use an AI system to create their resume. And I just think it makes the job market that much more
difficult.
Yes. And like I said, even with me now, I did like a thing, and the interview was like, one of the interviews was one of those video things. And then even in the application process, they want a video response. And they don't tell you this. It pops up like, okay, for your final thing, give us this thing, turn your camera. If I'm just sitting here and I might got my PJs on, I might not be ready to do a video for application, you know, and then they to want to do that. So for me, I feel like that also can be, do I want to say discriminatory in a way?
It is.
Because now you wanna see me, you wanna get, so even down the tone, what tone are you looking for? Like, you know what I mean? When you, that could mean a variation of things when it comes to tone. Are you trying to see how knowledgeable I am, or you trying to see like what I sound like or whatever? So I think that's another way to have a particular bias of who you hire instead of letting your resume be your representative or speak for you or your application. So now you want to wean out all of those things to get maybe the look that you want, which I've also seen some people do.
And plus,
They want a certain look for their company.
And plus, just because they have it on the resume, a certain skill on the resume doesn't mean they actually know that skill.
Mm-hmm.
I ran into that a lot of the time because they were like, just put it on there. I'm like, I never did that before.
Mm-hmm.
But they were like, put it on there anyway. Okay, so in other words, you want me to misrepresent myself and lie.
Yep.
But
people do it all the time.
Yeah. But when they ask you to do that certain thing that they want you to do, that you listed on your resume, that's when rubber meets the road, right? They're testing you to see if you actually know this stuff. My thing is, on any job, they're going to train you on what they want you to know anyway.
Mm-hmm. That's why people lie. I've seen people lie to get senior director or regional management positions, and they've never done anything like that before. But I'm gonna tell you who the company used to train these people: the support staff, who know the job. But you have this person that's supposed to be leading the people that's actually training them on what they're supposed to do, which to me,
it's backwards.
Right. When you could have promoted up. If they had this knowledge, you could have promoted up, but you chose this person who may have fabricated, which I mean, I don't knock you. You gotta get it how you live. If you can get your foot in the door, you got your foot in the door. I don't knock it because you got in there, you beat the system, but now you have to perform. But then another thing is, I'm gonna just stop right there. Go ahead, because I was gonna go across.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on, and plus with the resumes, when they took away the DEI, it opened the door for age discrimination, because I'm running into that a lot. I had to cut off like 10 years off my resume to try to make it fit within a 10-year time frame, because I got like 15, 20 years experience. So I had to just like whittle it down to 10 years. That means cutting off certain companies that I work for. And what's going on is, like I said, with that DEI, that opened the door for a lot of age discrimination, racial discrimination, just a whole bunch of a can of worms that Elon Musk, that guy, that
because they don't want to pay you. It's all about paying you.
Right.
Because
they don't want to pay you.
Yeah, and when it comes to ageism, one, they want to particularly get somebody that may be younger that they can get more longevity from. I get that. Mm-hmm. But then also with that, if you come in the door with 15, 20 years experience, they had your pay range they could max you out with. So they bring somebody in that may have a little less experience, they can give you entry or lowball you. Yeah. And then they can teach you. But then they come into the thing now, they have to do a toss up. Do we hire the person with the experience, and then we can maybe save some money on training, whereas though we spend some, because training is expensive.
Yes, it is. Yes,
so it is. It's like that toss up of the company. But but I do agree that that whole token, that diverse thing, because they've even taken that out of the curriculum once they let go of DEI. Because remember, they were pushing culture, diverse culture trainings, and how to communicate and become good colleagues, and how do you, that was like one of the things on all the interviews that I went on prior to that was, how are you in diverse workplace, and the culture and all of that other stuff. Those are one of the things you had to ask them. They don't need to ask that no more.
Well, they thought that AI, they hyped up AI so much that it's going to take over everything. Okay, AI doesn't work because human beings are behind AI to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's similar to when computers first came out, right? Everybody was afraid of computers. I want such a computer and blah, 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 blah. The computer might blow up and blah, 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 blah. They went to their whole fantasy watching movies and all that, and they thought computers were going to take over. No. AI is there to help you do your job faster, better, make you more productive. However, it ain't taking over nothing. Because if you know how to use it, it's not about AI taking over. It's about the person that knows how to use it. That will allow it.
Becoming dependent on it, where so if it was to crash, they would not know how to function. I literally just had this experience where I was working on some policies. Oh, well, we can just use I forgot which name one of them AI systems. We could just put it in there, whatever you want, and it'll make them for you. I said, so how do you know if that's the correct standard for this business? And all of that stuff. So you still have to do a comparison. You want me to type in, give me policies for X, Y, and Z, and you want me to put my name on that? I'm not doing that.
Right.
And right. I get it, it's faster, but at the same time, the first thing that all of them tell you is that AI can make mistakes. But
yeah, it often does.
Companies type some stuff in and print out verbatim, and okay, it's done. The same way, like when a computer breaks down, everybody loses their whole complete mind because nobody knows how to function when it's not. So I'm just like, okay, we need to have a backup for when this crashes so we can still function and be operational. I don't have a problem with going back and taking a responsibility of making sure once the system is back up to transfer the information. Right. But when it goes, what we supposed to do now? The fuck work.
Like, what no, it's similar to when you see a cashier at a register, right? Mm-hmm. If the total
I'm sorry, after you, we gonna let them two go. I'm sorry, Jude and Paul. Go ahead.
It's similar to how you have a cashier at the register, right? If the price of the item with tax is $18.37, and you give them a $20 bill, right? And they don't have the cash register working, they sitting there scratching their head like, how much am I supposed to give back? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I said, just give me the $20 back, and they actually gave me $20. So they registered with short. And I just walked out of the store because it ain't my fault that they're stupid.
And they can't count. And those are like basic things that it's just crazy how much we really depend on technology and computer systems, where so it dumbed us down to a degree. Let's go just to get y'all input, because I don't want me and Q to because I know Q can talk about this for hours and hours. Let's go Paul and then Jude.
You should have went on to Jude, because I'm gonna tell you what, this AI stuff isn't much in my field of vision. I mean, I'm seeing what's going on with everything, but when you talk about the computers, I remember I learned about the computers with inserting a floppy disk inside the modem and shit, a big ass TV screen big TV screen, big keyboard connected to it where I learned how to get on the keyboard computer. So yeah, and so I'm gonna go ahead and cede my time to you.
Yeah, I ain't got much to say because I only really use it because we have to in today's age. It's like kind of necessary, but like I wrote a couple things down to say. I was like, it is about the money. Why pay humans to do things that they can pay the machines to do? They've been trying to phase us out for a while. Y'all know my whole movie conspiracy thing. They put it in the movies. And they've been showing us what they're going to do for a long time. They've been building all kind of robots, our robots, his robots, her robots. They've been showing us all the stuff that they've been planning on doing, and then we seeing it like today, like even down to the flying cars and the cars like driving off the land into the water, like this stuff that they've been talking about when I was a kid. And then now it's like as an adult it's actually happening. And then like I feel like we just moving from like the era of like the hands-on workforce to like the hands-off workforce. All you really need is like the people who can maintain and fix the technology now at this point. So we pretty much like pawns. That's all you need is people to feed the system for real. And they got a thing about like it was I just was watching the movie I think on good old Tubi about like them using like the humans, like them poisoning, what was the series or something, they was poisoning the humans and was like putting their bodies, using their bodies like to fuel the land or for energy or something. I'm
Mhm.
just saying they be always talking about some kind of things, but anyway, uh you only need humans. What else? It's hitting codes inside of all that stuff, that AI stuff. That when y'all was talking about the resumes, I was trying to figure out why I had wrote that down. Cause when y'all was talking about like the resumes and them talking to the AI and like put it in Chat GPT, yeah, because it speak to each other. The AI put formulate things together so that it in such a way that the hidden code, the Da Vinci code up in there, for them to talk to each other. That's how that AI system took over Jarvis and Avengers. And each generation have different kind. Oh, each generation have a different kind of working people. Meaning like see, I was saying something about like they aging out the doing the discrimination against y'all had said something, but then y'all went off for real. Y'all was talking about like them hiring discrimination, them like not hiring the older people because AI going through and picking people. Like, I used to get a call back in like a week for a job. And now they don't really want to hire you because it costs them. They can save the business owners feel like they can save money, right? And y'all said one thing for sure: older people want to get paid because we feel like we done been working forever. We done put our time in, we want to get paid for working. And the younger people, they don't want to work. They want to come in, they want to make a quick buck and then dip and you feel me, like do something else. They don't even want to stay. And that's more so what the company's looking for, to recycle. We grew up knowing that, hey, sit at that job, stay there, collect the pension, put some time in, blah blah. And now it's like a revolving door. The revolving door thing that wasn't you didn't used to look good. Now jobs look forward to that because they can always lowball the next person coming in. You a fresh person with no experience, but if I get you and you got 20, 25 years of experience in this, yeah, you gonna want me to pay you. But somebody fresh out of school and I just got train them a little bit, and a lot of companies they're coming and they're using they saving money because they are using an employee that already worked there, like Coco was saying, to train you. That's not spending money, that's saving money. Because I'm just getting her to show you the basics and then I'm sending you on my own. They expect everybody to get it. They don't even train you the same way they used to no more.
Mm-mm.
Everything is hands off. They pre-do the videos for training and everybody just gotta see them. And they be the videos for like they redo them like every couple years.
Yeah.
So it ain't even no more of that. Um Few other questions I really wanted to know about the AI system. I just wanted to know like what was the involvement with AI and don't Coco, don't cut me off, don't mute me out, don't push me out with this question because I'm serious because I wanted to know this. Okay, I had the disclaimer of my question. Um, what percentage of AI in the decision in the election did it have? Was it working? Was it at play with that? And where was the system doing that job selection right there and the job selections of the administration? Is AI doing that? Is that resume select? I know I don't got that, but I'll just all right. Okay, I'm going back on mute. All right, okay, bye.
Yeah, it is. I can
No
answer
Yeah,
that.
curious.
I mean, we can answer it, but I don't want us to spend that much time on it because I don't want it to take away from the
I,
topic.
I know, I know.
However, I think that was a different system, and it was more so like the mail-in ballots and all of that stuff that they tried to say was the biggest issue. But before we get into that, it was something that I wanted to mention about the resumes, and this was also a LinkedIn conversation as well. Um, because the companies are using AI to sort through resumes, a person never even looks at your resume. You never even get acknowledged or looked at. So that's also important for people to say. And I think it was probably more so like an offline conversation we all had when we were talking about how you can put in an application today and then an hour later it's like, thank you for your interest in this position. And it's like, it's freaking Sunday. Y'all there on a Sunday looking at it, but it's not. It's AI rejecting it. And you could be a good one. So just imagine how many companies, but I think I'm not gonna go into, I'm gonna wait till later to get into the other piece that I wanted to get into. Um, but I wanted to
Okay.
pick back on what Drew was saying, a revolving door, but companies are also using layoffs because that also goes into the budget as well when it comes to how they save money and how they move money through their companies with how they do it. But when it comes to the whole like AI thing, when it comes to agents, when they can say they want you to have X amount of years. But let's say if you had 4 jobs and you might have been at one job for maybe like 10 years and they may see that history go back. They're just calculating or averaging out how old you may be. And they're programming, they can program how they wanted to sort through those resumes. But again, with the mistakes that AI can make, great resumes are being overlooked, and people who work in HR and even people who are CEOs of companies in the conversation thread that I seen on LinkedIn, they were saying it's a major problem where they really want to go back to having people look at the resume. Because one lady said she said because the one she was getting, it was like, I don't want to call or interview these people because it's not what I'm looking for. She had to go through the rejected pile. And she said she found her best candidate. So she said AI is not the greatest way to go because even when you think about it, yeah, some companies like a revolving door, but when you think you got a good pick, and then when you get in the door, you have some trash, your productivity is still halted. You're not really being productive because you're still taking away time because you have this person that you still got to hold their hand and walk through, and especially if it's in like a leadership role. But also going to before we answered your question, I'm sorry, I had to get this off my chest. When it comes to training, some companies are saving and training, and I know because I do onboarding, they're using YouTube videos because you can upload them for free. Because when they have those specially designed ones for their company, they have to pay for that. Like some people pay monthly, some people pay quarterly, but it ain't no little bit of money. So that training material is expensive. So they're cutting corners and using YouTube. Okay, now y'all can go ahead and answer your question.
Yeah. Yeah, Jude, it did affect the election because Elon Musk was tampering with them machines, and and it's actually come out in recent in as recent as what about a month ago, 2 months ago, that they found out that yeah, the machines were tampered with, the voting machines were tampered with. That's how what's his name got back in office, and now we don't know what he's trying to do with that guy in office now. He's trying to find a way to stay in office because you cannot remove a wartime president, and he's worried about the midterms. So what he's trying to do, he's trying to alter find a way to alter the voting machines again, so that he can stay. His people can stay in power, because he can't stay. He can't stay there. He already served his 2 terms. He can't stay there. He can't run anymore. But he's trying to get one of his clones in there to continue the work that he's been trying to do, and everything he's doing is backfiring, big time, backfiring.
Well, it's backfiring because they're also proving that they literally cheated. The more they try to prove that they cheated, and that stuff go all the way back from before. But in the same sense, what they're also doing, it's not only just with them. It's exposing the whole voting process when it comes to mail-in ballots and in-person ballots. So now they're trying to do away with mail-in ballots ballots and all of that other stuff. So it's causing a bigger concern. But even still, agreed, he can't run, which he's trying to maneuver. But they already know that their party is losing their support for any.
They're losing their support from within.
Yes, because the way that they're resigning and all of that. So there's that fear, and then it's also on freaking see now. But I think no matter what voting system we had, even when we had manual, it was still issues with that.
Yeah, because with this issue coming up, the voting issue, it's going to be very interesting come November. November can't get fast enough, because I'm sorry, I need for everything to turn blue, so we can. The faster everything turns blue, the faster we can get this monkey out of this office.
Yeah. Oh, but now it was this thing, and then we're gonna get off of this because I saw this article 5 minutes, and that's all we're gonna take on it. I saw this thing, I saw this article, then I saw this video where even not Republicans, but Democrats, certain what is the word? I don't want to say politician. I guess media, and like those Democratic news media and politic platforms. What was telling Democrats, well, if you don't want to vote for the upcoming election, you don't really have to, because remember we went from we need to get out there and vote, we need the numbers, to well, you don't really need to just, if you want to sit it out, it's cool, like we got it anyway. So now the whole you must vote thing, it's kind of going, yeah.
Okay, they had.
Did you see it? You know what I'm talking about?
I glanced over it because I'm so I'm over this whole administration and just watching all this stuff unfold. I'm like, yeah, it's going to backfire. Everything he's doing is backfiring, right? He's stroking out as we speak right now. Mm-hmm. He might be watching this podcast stroking out. You never know.
Oh, we still up, so they don't see it yet. Ain't no glitches.
And I said to myself, you know what? When I was looking at what Elon Musk was talking about, how AI is going to help you can decide whether you want to work or not to work, but you still get a universal life income. I was looking at him like, man, that don't even make sense. Because a universal life income, really? Okay, so I can sit at home and I'm still making money. But okay, if AI is doing all the work, how am I going to make the money? Number one. And number two, when you don't have people buying products, right? Because they really ain't got no money, right? Mm-hmm. How you gonna move your product when people ain't got no money?
Okay, gotta sit on it.
See, I seriously think Elon Musk didn't think this through clearly because he's on ketamine.
1 minute left, dude. 1 minute left.
The ketamine kid.
Yeah, he's on ketamine,
Well,
and it's true.
hold on. Since you all that, let's tie this answer into this. Because I wanted to get into not only is AI affecting the
Election.
no, not that we off the election, and not only affecting the hiring process, like how people are getting selected.
Yeah.
It's also changing how people move throughout their career path and how they get promoted on the job.
Mm-hmm.
So AI, doing some research, it says AI impact workforce growth by automating specific tasks rather than entirely replacing jobs. For instance, entry level squeeze. AI is adept at writing entry level code, drafting initial reports, and answering routine customer service calls. As a result, companies are hiring fewer entry level workers, which make it harder for younger professionals to get their foot in the door and gain early career experience. Remind me to expound on that. Worker stagnation. Because AI increases the output of experienced employees, companies can grow without adding headcount. This leaves many workers feeling stuck in their current roles with limited opportunities for lateral movement or promotions. Um, I do agree with that because even if you notice when you call certain places, they take you through the whole process. You can say you want to speak to a representative, and they'll be like, okay, before we get there, let's try this. And they'll take you through all of this stuff. And that could be an in-person person's job that has now been taken over by this recording that we all freaking hate. No matter how many times you press 0, it will tell you, we don't recognize your response. Goodbye. And then you got to call back and go through that whole annoying process over. Like it's literally removing the person.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it.
Yeah, I always curse out the AI machines because as soon as I call in, if you speak English, press 1. I said, what if I spoke African? What do I press then?
Other.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know that they don't have that on there. They don't have it a lot.
They just have English and
If you
Spanish.
don't speak English or Spanish, you screwed.
Right. So, well, I said, what if I speak Swahili? What do I press then? What if I spoke in that click language that they use? You know, like the Xhosa tribe uses that language. What if I spoke that language? How am I going to get a representative?
Okay.
You can't, because they got it so focused on you know, that type of job. I've worked those type of jobs. I call them phone monkey jobs. Right?
Yeah, Wendy just made a good point. If you want to tie in it with her, now they have AI at the drive-through. It sucks too. If you need to change your order, it's complicated.
Yeah,
they're eliminating people from a lot of these places, and they wonder why unemployment is going up. But that's later in the show.
Yeah. They. You know, I get it. You wanna save time, money, etc. But you still need people to help run the business, because AI can't do everything. We are light years from that ever happening. And plus, an interesting point that Rich made.
Oh, behind the scenes, you want to read that?
Yeah,
I was going to read it, but go ahead.
Go ahead, read it.
About the grid.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. I told, like, my cousin, he uses AI. He relies on AI. He relies on Copilot for everything. He said, just put it in the Copilot and see what it says. You know, that's the answer. I'm like, nah, man. I like to critically think. I don't like using AI for everything. Because to me, that's a cop-out. That means you can't really think on your own.
Why the dog always start playing with that damn toy when you about to say something good?
I don't know. I don't know. But and Rich said, AI has many flaws, definitely not perfect. A lot of employers will need employees back because they won't understand how to operate AI long term, which is true. Very true. And then he said, we're not even going to talk about the electronic grid completely shutting down. What's AI going to do then? Because guess what? In times of war, like we are in right now, a well-placed EMP, for those who don't know what an EMP is, that is an electromagnetic pulse.
Mhm.
All it would take is 3 electronic magnetic pulses strategically placed within the United States. Strategically placed in the United States, you can knock out the electrical grid for days, hours, even weeks, possibly years. Then what you gonna do then? Because a lot of stuff relies on a lot of stuff relies on AI, like those Waymo cars.
Mhm.
That they rely on the electrical grid. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah, it has AI technology in it, but it also relies on the electrical grid. And I told my cousin this. I said, I see it, and he's not out there driving, but he tried to tell me what's going on with Lyft. I'm like, dude, that's like telling me you an actor, but you sitting in your basement talking about you acting, and you ain't never been on set. I've been out there. I'm driving every day. I see it every day. When a rainstorm hits, and Atlanta is known for flash flooding in certain areas, those Waymos get stuck in the water. When the electrical grid gets zapped by lightning, when the traffic lights are blinking and the backup generators are working, the Waymos don't work. They're just sitting there and they're blocking traffic. I know because I see it. I've experienced it firsthand.
You know,
So what is the backup
I
when
got
the grid
dirty.
goes out?
Huh?
What is the so what is supposed to happen? Let's just say the grid is out, right?
Yeah.
We already said we live in a society, especially our working society, where so everybody's dependent on AI or some form of technology.
Yeah.
What happens when I'm gonna say when because it's going to happen. When that happens,
It's going everything is gonna be plunged into darkness.
you're gonna be like the purge.
It's similar. Everything's gonna be plunged into darkness.
Hit
The
me out.
purge the purge ain't gonna happen until people are running out of food, people are running out of water.
Yeah, it's gonna be
That's when you're
mass
gonna
chaos
start
first.
seeing that's when you're gonna start seeing mass chaos.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a matter of days. It won't be immediate, but it's gonna be a matter of days.
Mhm.
No, it's
Go
gonna
ahead,
be
Jude.
panic first. Oh, but no, hear me out. Hear me out. I got a different theory on it, right? I feel like I'm echoing. Oh, hear me echo. I'm echoing.
Yeah, I think you just did.
One second. All right, okay. All right, there you go. All right. I don't feel like AI is new. I feel like each uh as each civilization advance since it has been born, it evolves into tricking them the civilization into thinking that it's something a new discovery, right? What I think is going to happen is what happens every time AI sits dormant and educates itself like every other disease out here and wait until the civilization get to the point where it can, now invent it, you know, create it, populate, dominate until it get to the civilization where it can actually completely control. And it's kind of getting there. We completely phasing it out in our generation, like completely phasing out people interaction with almost everything. Driving, like even when they fail, they still pushing it. They pushing that more than they pushing us getting it together, more than they are pushing this, even knowing the health risk to us and our environment. It don't matter. If they can figure out a way to do it faster, they will. They not thinking about nothing healthy, especially over here in the world. Excuse me, I had to belch. Excuse me. But anyway, yeah, man. I feel like AI was gonna sit dormant and come back up like a like a disease. It's gonna sit dormant like it always do. I don't think it's new. I think that it evolves.
No, it's not new. It's been around. It's been around for decades.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
that's
is
what I'm saying.
from the first computer when we was using what AOL. They were predicting this in the future, and
No, no, Coco. I mean, like from the
yeah,
what's that Waterworld people, like the past civilizations of people, because they got proof that they found like a computer from like a past like a civilization from like long time ago. They found like a computer that they found like I can't even it was a few things. It was like they could tell that it was like an advanced civilization back then, like equivalent to things now that we use, and some stuff that was more advanced that they don't even understand how they were using it.
the
And
pyramid.
if man, yeah, that's what I'm saying. AI sitting
So
dormant, man. Go
whoever
ahead,
created
my
like
bad.
the pyramids and all that other stuff, that's a technology that we would never. They still cannot figure that out to this day. So we definitely know it's like advanced out there. It's just
Well,
this.
it's been around because
Yeah,
video games, right? Like
Tone.
the more realistic video games became, right? Because I remember back in the day, I had an Atari 400 computer,
Tone.
and I used to play the football game on there where it was all stick figures. You know what I'm
yes,
saying?
I remember that.
You throw the little dash, that's the football, and it like travel real slow. And when you catch you running like this,
Played that in
you-
Centipede.
yeah, Centipede, Galaga, and all of that.
Hmm.
Now, as it advanced and the coding got better, now when you play, I play like college and Madden, and it's realistic to a degree. That yeah, they got the characteristics of the player right, but there's still certain things that are wrong with the mechanism because I could be doing something where I'm running down the field, and I didn't tell it to turn, but it turns on it. I'll press a spin move and it'll just turn to the right, and I'm like, I didn't want you to do that. I wanted you to just do a spin move. So it's not perfect, but it's getting there. It's getting there. It's getting more and more realistic. It's already to that point where we got that, what is that meta thing, glasses or whatever, virtual world or whatever.
I don't trust them.
Mm-mm.
I don't trust them at all. That's gonna be TMI. But people be using those glasses. That's gonna be another way that people be doing weird stuff.
They already doing weird stuff.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. They done caught people
yeah,
doing a lot of stuff with them already.
yes.
I thought I thought you were gonna say tone, man.
You can't do nothing. I be having what glasses you got on today?
You hear me? Q?
Huh?
I asked Q, did he hear me?
What's that?
I said, did you hear me?
Nah.
I said, when you start talking about that Atari, I thought you were going to talk about the game Pong with the two lines.
Nah,
and
yeah. That's part of it. But
Yeah, that was one of the first games I ever seen. As far
now
as
it's
being,
like the tennis players look realistic. You can hit the ball like a regular tennis player, and football, I can throw the ball down the field. And now with the VR, the virtual reality,
That's it.
huh?
I want one of them. I still ain't got. I want one though. But I'm scared. I'm gonna tear everything up because I know me. I play too much, and I know I'm up for
Because with the virtual reality glasses, the big headset that you put over your eyes, right? And I've seen there's a store here in Atlanta that I've seen where this guy had on them glasses. It was one of them sex stores, and this guy was I was looking at this man like, what is wrong with this dude? This dude over here humping the counter. I'm like, what are you doing? So that's
They
a
were
girl
doing
there.
that before. I used to work in the
Yeah.
store back in the couple years ago, and that's how they would come. They would come in and really do that. People just nasty.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
just they're disgusting.
stand in the corners and do that. You'd be like, why is you doing that right there, right here?
Right.
He was doing the Pee Wee Herman.
No,
This dude, man.
like security guys, we would call them like backmen back then because we had like booths and stuff too. I know I'm going,
Yeah.
but I guess it's a form of AI technology when people used to go in put their quarters in the machine and you could pick your horn. But people would just come in and they would do some crazy stuff. Or they would be like, I want to see this one. Sometimes we could swap out the movies or, whatever like that. But people been nasty for forever. And could you imagine what would be recorded if them, and I think they probably did have a pair of glasses out by that time, but they wasn't like today. Because people was doing all kinds of stuff. Because matter of fact, I think phones was just starting to become better. We were just like transitioning from like the antenna phones to like the like the first iPhones and all of that stuff. So they wasn't doing as much. But if you could just imagine like what was going on like back then, if we had the technology we have now, oh my God. Woo. But anyway, I got a question for y'all. Well, not a question. One more thing. Before we get into the other stuff, is how AI monitors current employees. So even when you're on the job, you're still being monitored by AI. So you know how when you do your yearly evaluations and all of those things they're using an AI system for that as well. So employers utilize AI software to manage staff performance and wages. So surveillance and scoring. Companies use AI to track employee activity such as keystrokes, response times, and customer interactions. This data is often used to calculate performance ratings automatically. Compensation adjustments. AI algorithms are increasingly used to evaluate market fairness, assess pay equity, and even recommend or calculate if you get a bonus or not. Oh, what are your thoughts? Don't all speak at once.
They doing it.
Yeah.
They definitely doing that type of stuff.
Yeah, because what they're trying to do, there's a saying that a lot of these billionaires are starting to circulate around. You will own nothing and be happy, right? Which means
I'm sorry, Q. What won't work, J-Bay, because it definitely works because they use it now. There's
they use it now.
a report system that will kick back for each employee because you have a performance thing. And you can either do it one or two ways. There's one that tracks each employee. When you log in and you sign on to the whatever software that your company uses, you're being monitored from the time that you sign on to the time that you sign on off. How many times you sign on and off. Your productivity, it'll calculate when you're off and when you're on, when you're actually working in the system, when you're not working in the system. It generates a report to upper administration. And that those reports can be used during your evaluation. So like if you may have somebody that, okay, they hired for 8 hours, but they only worked an hour because you only saw them online actively working for that hour. And then when they be like, I was at work, I'm looking and it only shows that you did and they can see how productive that you were, what you were doing and how and that does go into whether you compensated, promoted. They literally do use those metrics. And that's why they always say, make sure you log in, make sure you do this, make sure it does that. And if I didn't see it firsthand, I would be like the same thing. I ain't on it. That they do. If your company used 3 or 4 different systems, the expectation is for you to be logged in and working in all of them.
Yep. And plus it keeps up the time as well. Like if you are you're supposed to be at work at 9 o'clock and you log in at 9:01, they consider you late. Even though they say, yeah, you got a 10-minute buffer, it's still going to go against you because you weren't there at 9 o'clock working. You clock in at 9:03, even though you within that 10-minute buffer. That's 3 minutes of productivity that could have been had. I'm like, well, what exactly?
Right.
It takes 3 minutes to read an email.
Yeah, and then you got to do an override. Somebody has to do that system override where they'll be like, hey, and I think this is where certain leadership roles will always be in need, because when it comes to things like that, because the system is already set up, depending on how the structure of the company, when they started to use whatever AI system or whatever electronic system they use, however they set it up, like you said, it could automatically do a 901, 905, 910, whatever the increments are. If you exceed that, but let's say it's the thing where you were there, you may just forgot to log on. I may vouch for you, but now I need to override that. It also calculates how many times it was overwritten. So now they want to question the person who kept overriding. What's the problem? That they don't understand they supposed to be logged on. It's so many ways that you're being monitored. It's like crazy.
Yeah. And all this is, like I've been saying for years, all corporate America is, that's the new age slavery. Okay. What the transatlantic slave trade was, that's the futuristic slave trade now. Is through AI, through robotics, through all this stuff. Because corporate America is a slave ship.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's working on it. It ain't just white folks, it ain't just black people, it ain't just Asians, it ain't just Hispanics. Everybody is affected.
Yeah. And then even with the pay, they have a system that follow the trend. So if you ever notice, like if you Google right now, what's the salary for whatever job it is, right? They'll give you a trend and a breakdown depending on where you are. This is your range. So when you go up for a raise or a promotion, they're going to look at those factors and those trends to see what the comparisons are. So let's just say you're making 90,000, right? And we know a lot of these jobs now are lowballing because of the economy. So if you're already at 90, your productivity and all that stuff could be up. So they're going to look at what the average salary is going for that position, whatever experience or whatever, and they're going to do a comparison and they're going to make a recommendation to your company like, no, we can't do it because you're already considered here. And it's crazy because they're going to strictly depend on that instead of saying, and it could be in the budget to give you a little bit more. But because this AI recommendation based on these trends came through, guess what? You're not going to get it.
And that's going to cause people to lose it. It's going to cause companies to lose talent.
Yeah, unless you got a management team or a leadership team that'll actually take a look.
Right.
And realize that you're valuable to speak up and say, can we really look at this and revisit this because this person is an asset. Mm-hmm. But that's when it's going to literally take leadership to speak up and challenge the decision, which most places don't want to do because it does require research and footwork. And a lot of times they don't understand how to calculate or read their own budgets.
You know, I don't necessarily really have a problem with AI. I just don't like that they trying to like use it to completely like you can't use it for everything. It's not. I don't think it should be meant for everything. I do think it serves, a purpose in today's world, but to completely depend on it is insanity. So it's just like, yeah, no, I instantly go to the movies. Like, is it the one like where they trying to make us be like surrogates? Like where we like in the house, like in a gaming chair, hooked up to a thing, and like a computerized robot version of us is walking around.
Yeah,
Or
like the
what was
Matrix.
or was it like Wally? Like yeah, because that's what it just sound like. Like we just like ready to be expendable, ready to be fuel, like for the planet.
Yeah. Remember, iRobot, I just said it to Mark in the comments when he was saying what he said. I might reply to him. It kind of reminds me of iRobot. Remember on iRobot when all the robots, what is it called? What's the word Q that I'm looking for?
Rebelled.
Is that the word? Like not rebel.
I never saw our robot. I never saw
Animals.
iRobot because I'm not a fan of Will Smith.
Okay, well, if you ever noticed, like, what is the word when they say if you keep animals
Yeah, he discriminated against the
hold
whole
on,
movie. I will.
they come together and they overturn. What is it? What is the? It's a word that I'm looking for. I can't read. Well,
They
anywho,
overthrew. They overthrew their masters.
Stampede.
no, not a stampede.
Wait a minute, what you was saying? What they did?
They rebelled against their masters.
If you keep a group of living things confined or in prison, so you know how if you keep animals and stuff and engaged for a long period of time, eventually they start to communicate with each other to, I guess, overthrow. But it's a certain word that I want to use.
Revolt.
No, I know it if I hear it, but I'm drawing a blank right now. Anywho, in iRobot, that happened. Whereas though each household, I think you saw it, but they had the robots, right? So the
Yeah.
robots in turn, they started to get smarter and they started to communicate amongst each other. Whereas though they took the humans and they were their superior, pretty much like what y'all said. And
Yeah, like they did on what's the Planet of the Apes?
yeah, along those lines. But for robots, whereas though they just completely whereas though humans were at the robots. Oh my god, I'm drawing a blank right now.
I know what you mean though. I got it. Like they was like down they were the dominants. They were the
Right,
yeah, they was like
they were
what's the
superior.
yeah.
They
Yeah,
were the
that
superior
sounds about
being, and we had to do what they
right.
told us to do. We now they had us in prison. That's what it was in iRobot. So instead of them being like the maids and the caregivers for the humans, they became imprisoned by the humans became imprisoned by the robots and they took over. And I feel like that's where we're headed because like Jude said, like you don't want to completely depend on but these companies and a lot of places and organizations are de- dependent on AI. And I get it. A lot of people like I work smarter, not harder. Yeah and no, because when you look at what you're giving up, and it's like at what cost? Because if that thing makes a huge mistake, it can cost a great deal to any company. Because it could be one wrong number off, one wrong report, and you don't look over that report and you just go ahead and submit it, or you can have a budget reconciliation or something, or a proposal. You don't know what you're doing. And it just sounds like we becoming this our society is becoming so dependent on technology and AI experiences that we're kind of losing in a way our own creative thing. You know, it's dumbing us down a little bit. I can't think of what I want to say, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm drawing a blank. Hand Radio said that has happened and has happened already. Um, he said crazy work robots controlling the world, but it's kind of what's happening now. When you really like think about it, they're already like controlling. Um,
Who's programming the robots though?
y'all government I know.
Your president?
Whoever, whatever
Palantir.
whatever company make it.
Palantir, because Palantir is that surveillance company that Peter Thiel owns. And this is what the big debate is about those data centers, right? Because this plays hand in hand with those data centers. Why these data centers right now? There's a big debate on how these data centers are supposed to work and why they're trying to put a halt to them temporarily. Because what they need to do, they need to investigate how why it's taking up so much land, electricity, and water. Okay. In Colorado, I think it's in Colorado. One of the rivers, they put a data center out there by one of the rivers in Colorado. That river is bone dry now. That river is bone dry. It's not the Colorado River, but it's another minor river, but it's major. But that the concern is the amount of water that it uses, the amount of water the data centers use for the AI. Because what Peter Thiel is trying to do is he's trying to do mass surveillance.
Yeah, that's coming up another show.
Yeah. And with I tell people all the time, it was like, I told him, I was talking to my cousin about it. He was like, we're trying to compete with China. You know what? F China. Okay, we need to worry about us right here in this country. Stop trying to compete with everything, because you see how this competition is panning out right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're losing everything.
Yeah, because once all the resources are depleting, that's going to be the thing. It's not even the grid crashing. It's the number of data centers that they want to put across the U.S.
Yeah.
And on top of that, what they have to tear down to build these data centers is already going to destroy natural resources. On top of that, like you mentioned, the water that's going to be needed to keep these things, for the cooling systems and all of that stuff. That's water taken away from every individual person and family home. So it's like drinking water. So when that's gone, and our water already tainted, so can you imagine the cost of water is about to skyrocket? It's going to triple or more.
Then what they're going to do?
Start shooting people for stealing water.
No, what they're going to do? They're going to try to harvest the ocean water and do a desalination plant.
And then we're going to start seeing sharks walking on land.
Right. They didn't think this through thoroughly, because they're so much in a race to, well, China got this, we got to get there with them. And my cousin was like, yeah, we're in competition with China. I said, dude, China has already surpassed us. Japan has been surpassed us. Mm-hmm. Japan is 20 years beyond us with everything. I mean, they got AI down to the science of Japan, where everything looks hyper realistic. Okay, I was like, I can't be in competition with a country that has girls' panties in a vending machine. Okay, because that's what happens in Japan. Mm-hmm. They have girls' panties in a vending machine. Girls,
everything in the vending machine.
I was going to say the same thing, Drew. Everything in
the vending machine.
Literally.
And, and they're gaming systems, right? Everybody was like, "Oh, the PS5 is the hottest thing in the US." Man, Japan is already on PS6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it ain't even. Did it come out here yet?
No, it won't be over here till next year or the year after.
Because they got GTA already too, right? GTA 6.
Yeah. I haven't bought it yet, but I usually don't buy GTA until it drops in price, because I'm not paying $90 for that game. That's how much that game costs, $90 freaking dollars. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, my boys are probably here, but I got something.
I paid 70 for my college football because I played. I'm a football junkie, and Madden is the same thing. I'll pay for those, but certain games I will play. If football is I'm definitely going to spend the money on that. Certain games that I play, like Spider-Man, Days Gone, because Days Gone is hyper realistic because it's scenario based. So what you're gonna do in a zombie apocalypse type deal? What would you do? How would you function? How would you?
I'm sorry.
Not the Doug answer. What would you do?
Yeah.
He said he out of there.
He said he out of there.
And then Rich will say, Coco, know them kids don't care about the rest of them games. Rich, they don't. They just know that they gonna get it. Let me tell you, and they be down there yelling and cussing at the damn TV. Lord Jesus. Oh my goodness. All right, last topic before, it's two before we can go into open forum. I think we can knock it out real quick. Q, I'm gonna start with you. Because I think I know where you're gonna go with this one, because you gave me something under this one that's related to it. Give me your thoughts on how the use of AI is affecting people who are seeking employment. For some research purposes, I guess, for conversational purposes, let me explain. AI hiring tools negatively affect qualified job seekers by relying on strict keyword matching, rigid formatting requirements, and biased historical data. As a result, highly skilled applicants can be silently rejected in seconds, leaving them frustrated and in the dark about why they were passed over. Some specific ways AI hiring systems hurt qualified applicants. The keyword trap terminology mismatch. AI systems use applicant tracking systems, ATS, to scan for specific words and phrases. The problem. Qualified candidates often get rejected simply because they describe their skills using different words than the AI is programmed to find. Real world analogy. Oh my God. Y'all know I can't read when I go.
Okay,
Imagine searching for a red car online, but the algorithm only shows results from a crimson vehicle. The red car is exactly what you need, but the system exact match rule hides it from the view because they're looking for the word crimson instead of red. 2, formatting confusion. AI relies on optical character recognition, OCR, and text parsers to read resumes. The problem, many visually appealing resumes with graphics, tables, or complex columns, layouts confuse AI. The parser extracts the text out of order, making the resume look like gibberish to the system. Impact, the applicant is automatically disqualified for lacking readable experience, even if their actual skills are a perfect match. Before I get to the last one, Q.
Yeah, I agree. Since I'm going through this firsthand, I've had to format my resume so that the ATS can read it. And if it's not phrased a certain way, I had keywords in there, but if it wasn't phrased a certain way, they pass you over. And that is discouraging. That's very discouraging. Because AI can't gauge your skill level on something. It can only go by what's on that piece of paper. That's like saying that the dollar that you have in your hand is only worth really 50 cents. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how you gauge somebody's skill level is when you talk to them, and you talk to them in the interview. Like when I get questions about networking, I always bring up VLANs. I always bring up servers, switches, routers. They ask me about VLANs. Like, how do you know about VLANs? I've worked on them. I've helped build a VLAN. They're like, well, what do you do? How do you do it? How do you separate it? I'm like, well, phones may be on one VLAN, computers on another VLAN. You never put the two together. You never put phones with computers because that's crosstalk. That's basically
What's a
crosstalk.
VLAN?
Huh?
What's a
Virtual
VLAN?
LAN, virtual local area network. It goes on the switch.
Oh, VLAN.
Yeah, it's a VLAN.
Okay.
It's a virtual local area network for those who don't know. Whenever you have your phone at work, you ever wonder why your phone is not, it is connected to your computer, but when your computer goes down, your phone doesn't go down.
Mm-hmm.
That's because they're on separate VLANs. Like your computer may be on VLAN 10. All the computers on VLAN 10. All the phones on VLAN 20. You name them, according to those. Internet of Things, such as projectors, such as outside people bringing in stuff from the outside, maybe on VLAN 30.
That makes sense.
Because you don't want to put it on the VLAN that the company is working on, because the company can see what you're doing if you're on that particular VLAN.
Okay.
But yeah, it's
It's
frustrating. It's very frustrating. But I figured out something. Somebody told me, it's like, just take the job description, right, and put it in your resume, and then just like tweak it a little bit. I said, that's too much work, and plus I don't feel like lying. Because if I say it in a way, and I've gotten, and it was so funny. My colleagues that are going through the same thing, they're like, you still get phone calls? I was like, yeah, I get phone calls like usually 8 times a day. They're like, I don't never get phone calls. I'm still searching. I ain't getting nothing. I didn't use it. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing right. Hell, I don't know what I'm doing right. If I'm doing it right, how come they ain't hiring me? That's what the issue is. If I was doing it right, I would have been hired by now, right?
You know, a lot of these companies, they'll interview you because they have to for protocol and standard. But a lot of times they already know, either they'll already hire within or they already know who they want to put in that position.
Right.
If they so that's why I said a lot of times when people look at, oh, this is how you know you do. I said, no, a lot of times it's definitely who you know, especially in certain fields. But I think when it comes to that, in some positions, I mean, sometimes you might get lucky, but a lot of times they already have an idea. In some cases of who they want in there, or already, but I gotta go through with the process to make it, for auditing purposes.
Yeah, they do that. They tend to do that. I found that out too. Like, they go through the motions, so to speak. My thing is, if you already had somebody else in mind, why are you wasting my time interviewing me when you already had somebody in mind?
For the audit, they have to show that some companies have a protocol where the requirement is to interview a certain number of candidates, or you just can't say I want this one. You actually have to show that you did some type of thing. It's all about the books.
Yeah. I tend to look at things like that and be like, okay, I know I'm not going to get this job, so I might as well go ahead and do the best I can with this interview. And yeah, I do the best I can with the interview.
Now, in some cases, they might have an idea of who they want already. Somebody might have one of them over there. You might come in there and they might look at, wait a minute, hold up. We might
yeah.
Especially, I think in some cases that's why some places have the panel interviews. to give it that more balance of a decision, because one person can be swayed, but it's like if you have a panel of four, they may already be, oh yeah, we like this person, but then you might come in, one person might be still like, I already got my mind made up, but them other three can be swayed. Now them other three gonna be looking at that one like, hold up, I know we said that one, but let's really think about this. But then it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. And you know, I usually go my interviews with my best foot forward, because like that job that I've been waiting on, that I was telling you about, Honeywell, they are still slow dragging. I already got the job, so I'm still waiting on the onboarding material. Right, they're supposed to send me the onboarding material last week. I was supposed to start yesterday. Well, today I was supposed to start today.
You had to do your onboarding before or on your first day?
Probably on my first day. But they were supposed to create the profile and all that. But there's been a delay. So I kept asking. I kept bugging them. I said, "Look, what's going on, man? Be transparent with me. What's going on?" Yeah, we had some issues, this, that, and the third, internal issues. I'm like, okay, you had internal issues. That ain't got nothing to do with it.
Issue. They might not have the person in place. I know sometimes if they don't have anybody in that spot that usually handle it.
Well, yeah, that too, because it's 5 other people that are going through the same thing. Because they hired, I think they hired 6 people, me included, and I've been going back and forth. It's a third party. It was a third party that I went through. So I've been going through the third party to talk to the company, and I'm like, "What's going on, man? Be transparent with me. Don't waste my time. Is this a legitimate job? Because there's a lot of AI jobs out there that aren't legitimate. A lot of fake jobs. They were like, no, it's a legitimate job. Because I went through the interview process, and there was 2 interviews I went through, and one was a solo, and the second one was a panel. So I knew it was legit. But I had to go back and talk to the third party and ask them. I said, listen, what's going on? Okay, it's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I haven't gotten any onboard material. What's going on? Be transparent with me. Is this a legitimate job? They were like, yeah, it's legitimate. I was like, so what's going on? They were telling me, well, you know, they're having some internal problems. I'm like, okay, they ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't care about their internal problems. They ain't got nothing to do with it.
That does the whoever's in HR that does that sends out all that to create the that it sounds like that position is probably vacant and they're trying to figure it out, or I don't think they get somebody to cover for it. So it could be like we're trying to get somebody, or we're trying to figure out how is it that this person was doing it in a certain system where so they can send it out. Did they say how many days your onboarding would be?
Right. No, they were supposed to have this done last week, and they didn't have it done because I kept bugging them, and like I emailed the guy today. I said, listen, what's going on? Have you had any word? They said, well, give me until tomorrow, so I can get an answer. Okay, tomorrow's gonna come. They're not getting rid of me. Because they promised me this position. Once you promise me something, I'm going to hold you to it. It's called what? Accountability. I'm going to make them accountable. They don't like that.
No, but I do think there should be. I think that's a sign of how they communicate, though. I would keep that.
Yeah, that is.
Because when if you have to consistently call it, even if there are like some hiccups in the road or whatever may go, there still should be some form of communication.
Yeah.
So, I just saw it too. So I think that I would still keep that in the back of your mind. But that's what it sounds like. Usually, when those issues come, the person who handles that may be either off, or that position they may have, resigned, and that position is vacant, and they're trying to figure it out as they go, and they really don't have a handle on it. So it's pushing everything back instead of saying that we still want you, we just have to reschedule some things or push some things back on some internal things. You know what I mean?
Right.
But what's coming soon to give you like maybe a time frame of what they're trying to figure out. So I think that's where a lot of companies go wrong, and that also can discourage a person and be like, you know what, I want to go ahead and rescind
Yeah,
acceptance
that
of
part.
the offer. And that has happened when there's unclear communication on HR, or when you hear
Yeah.
those other things going. One more for you, because this was also yours, and then we can go to open forum. Discuss how those who consistently get rejected may turn to crime to pay bills or support their families.
Oh, that's simple. When you are unemployed and you've been doing all you can for however long it takes, your mind will start to go in a certain direction. You start doubting yourself. Because I had a crisis of faith like last week. My aunt tried to straighten me out. She was like, "I know you don't believe in God," and I was like, "No, I don't. I don't believe in God. I'm atheist." Huh?
You say she tried to put you out?
She tried to tell me, say, I know you don't believe in God. You got to believe in something. I said, Auntie, I'm atheist for a reason. I told her I broke stuff down for her. I said, listen, I don't knock people if they believe in God. That's them. I don't believe in it because I'm a person. If I can't see it, it ain't there. Yeah, you can't see the wind, but you see the effect. If the effect, and I'm a firm believer, if the effect is real, then the cause cannot be real. I'm a firm believer in that. So she was like, "Yeah, but your dad believed." I was like, "I'm not my dad. I don't know why she always does it. I love her to death. She always compares me to my dad. Me and my dad were we were polar opposites. We loved each other, but we were polar opposites on how we thought about the world. He was old school with me. I'm new generation. He listened to more jazz and blah 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 blah. And I was like, all right. So I sat down and was like, all right, I'm doing all I can. I'm sending out resumes. Hell, I'm even donating plasma. I'm even donating plasma. Okay. And doing Lyft. So I was like, all right, I'm trying to find other alternate resources instead of having to turn to crime. Because the more people that are unemployed with idle time on their hands, that's going to create a problem. That's going to create people to become very inventive to go out to go get the resources they need illegally.
Yeah.
And it's like what yeah, it's like what Old Dirty Bastard said, right? It's like what Old Dirty Bastard said in one of his songs. I gotta get paid whether it's I gotta get paid fully, whether it's truthfully or untruthfully.
I don't know why that just tickled me, but I know the song.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, it wasn't funny, but
No, he told the truth.
yeah.
You got to get paid fully, whether it's truthfully or untruthfully.
And I think what makes it even more difficult is people want to work,
Yeah,
also then don't want to work. And then when you run into a lot of the systems that may be put in place are lacking the resources themselves, where so they can barely help, or you have to be on an extensive wait time to get a little bit of help. So now you want crunch time and you're trying to find this job, and then when you constantly put in an application and that same day or hour later you're getting a thank you for applying. However, we're going to move forward with like additional applicants or whatever. That can become frustrating and can cause a person to spiral, especially if you have like a family, children, even yourself. Like it gets you in your head. You know what I mean? So it becomes a bigger thing, and then you start seeing people doing what you said. Like, look, I gotta eat too. So increase in crime, increase of unemployment, and the unemployment rate, and it's amazing how with all of these changes they keep saying, oh, the employment rate is down, it's not increasing. But however, the job market don't say that, because you just had several companies do mass layoffs
Yeah.
because of funding that was taken away because it's allegedly no longer needed. So those positions that were created off of that fund is that. Then you have companies, because of everything that's going on with tariffs, the cost of goods and all, they're picking and choosing how they're going to stock or where they're going to get it from. So they're not buying, and companies aren't making the money that they were making before. So now they're putting in cuts because they can save. Okay, we eliminate these positions. Now they just bridge the cap because they eliminated these positions. So now we can kind of stay afloat and stay operational, and we can take that money and maybe purchase some things to make us productive.
Yeah, but you know what though? With that being said, and you made an excellent point. With that being said, if
Hey.
you don't have the capital to keep your company afloat due to all the cuts, because you got to have the labor force in order to do mass production. You got to have that. Okay, that's gonna, then you cut your labor force. Who's gonna do all this mass production? Right? Who's gonna do all this mass production? The management ain't gonna do it.
Worker burnout, because the workers who they kept now have to take on those extra roles.
There you go. That part, which means what? They're not getting paid anything extra.
No, and then you're gonna burn them out, and then they're gonna want to quit, or they start calling out, and then your productivity still doesn't increase.
Ding 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 ding.
Mhm.
Exactly.
And then you lucky if you get we appreciate you guys for helping out and picking
Right.
up the extra slack. And then sometimes they still be like, oh, we just get somebody else to replace you. Who wants to hear that when you're already giving all that you can? And I think sometimes I don't know. It's just
Yeah. What did they give you for the productivity? A $15 gift card for gasoline. Like, what in the hell is that all about? What the hell is that going to do for me with these gas prices?
With that being said, Q, we are now into open forum.
Well, also people people used to hate on the union so bad, but that was the point of the union, to fight against stuff like this.
Yes.
I agree.
And whatever they did with old Hoffa,
They
but
wanted, they didn't want the unions because the fat cats up at the top realized, hey, I'm losing money. They don't want to lose any money, right? That's what happens when you're in this capitalist. This is late stage capitalism that we're in as we speak, right? Because I told people, this is the fall of the American empire. This is what's happening in real time right now that we're living through right now. This is the fall of the American empire. Mm-hmm. America is about to go bankrupt. Mark my words. This country will be going, within 5 years, this country will be bankrupt. They are already in $39 billion. They are 39 trillion in debt.
You can already see that's why they're targeting American citizens because of the debt that they put themselves in. Anything that they can touch you on, and they going to see what do they owe that we can go and make them pay for whereas though we can do a garnishment, we can do a mandatory. This is and that. They're literally pressing American citizens.
As long as I owe them, they'll never go broke.
Yeah, but they like literally pressing, like even down to like student what is it, financial aid,
Student loans.
Student loans. They don't even want to do the you know, some people may have like the wait period or whatever. It is what it is. They want to make it fixed for because everybody don't have like the same payment, but they want to make it that and enforce it, but so it has to. They don't want to do no forbearance or anything. You just gotta pay it, or they get to the point where so they'll just do like garnishments or whatever. They're literally pressing if you owe any type of tax. It's like, okay, we want that, or we come in for that too. Anything that they can get, how they can get it. Oh, we spending how much here? Or we gonna eliminate this program because we can use that because we already owe this to pay off this debt, which is why we're slowly but surely losing so many needed resources for American citizens because we're in debt.
Yeah.
And the money that they're taking, that's used to fund these resources that's supposed to be for Americans.
Guess where the money went?
In the pocket.
It went to Israel.
Oh, Israel. Yeah.
It went to Israel because we've been funding Israel for about 30, 40 years now.
Mm-hmm. And several other countries.
Right. And I'm like, what the hell? Okay, excuse my language on this. And I'm gonna say this disclaimer: the views of Quentin Moore, aka Semantic the Iconoclast, do not represent the views of Casual Convo or Paul Morty, you can see, or the Jude or Coco. Okay, this goddamn government has been sending money over there to Israel to fund Israel when we have crumbling infrastructure. Roads that have potholes in them so big, I could pitch a tent in them and spend the night in it. The electrical grid is antiquated. The water is nasty.
Oh, what's that word you just used?
Antiquated.
I like that. Let me spell it. I'm gonna use that. INT.
ANTIQUATED. Antiquated.
Got it. I'm gonna use that one.
It means old. It means it's old. It's ancient.
Old.
Now,
I can't wait to tell somebody they antiquated.
You are so antiquated. You're antiquated
and what makes me so angry about this country doing why we have this deficit, but your taxes keep going up. Okay, then they talk about, well, we got to fight we're trying to prevent communism. What? I was like, first of all, most Americans, they don't know the difference between communism, capitalism, and socialism. Okay, they don't know. They think communism and socialism is one and the same. No, it's not. They are wrong. Okay, communism, the state owns everything, which means United States owns your apartment, they own your TV, they own your car. You don't own nothing. Mm-hmm. Socialism means it's social. There are things in this economy. This is not a full-on capitalistic. It has a lot of capitalistic elements, but it has a lot of socialistic elements in this economy as well. Social security, fire department, police department, municipal works, things of that nature. That's all socialism, right? Because what happens? The money goes into a big pot. Whoever needs it gets what they need. The pot remains untouched. what the government is doing is trying to steal that money, and then say, "Hey, well, we ran out of money for your Social Security because y'all motherfuckers took that shit. I worked all this time, and you took my Social Security. What was the point in me paying for it for? When you go and take it away anyway."
Yeah.
That's what pisses me off about the wastefulness of this government. You know what I'm saying? That's what really pisses me off about this.
It's the
I'm
American
tired of
way.
it.
It's the American way for the American dream.
Yeah, wasteful. That's why I said earlier. I'm like, who the hell do we owe? The Decepticons? Like 39 trillion. I was like, I saw that number. I was like, yo, it's Megatron. What? How we gonna pay this dude? Energon cubes?
Yeah,
How we gonna? We don't even have Energon cubes.
And the more of a recession that we in, the more debt that we get in, the higher everything gets, and the more Americans struggle.
Yeah, and what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? And I saw this back in the 80s with Ronald Reagan. When I was like, when Reaganomics hit, there was a deep recession we were in. Boy, crime in New York City and everywhere else. Guess what it did? It skyrocketed. Because guess what were people doing? People were stealing, robbing, sometimes killing to get the resources they needed. They don't want this. They don't want this society to go through what went through in the 80s, because it's going to be far worse. It's going to be far worse than what happened in the 80s, because people are going to they're just going to get fed up. They're going to break into they're going to break into what you call. They already got armed guards here at Kroger.
Yeah.
At the supermarkets. But I'm like, one armed guard, what's he going to do against 500 people?
Nothing. The same way. That was about where Paul lived at. You see what they had? All of them Joe had 3 or 4 guards, and they took them things hostage. That's what's going to happen. You can't have 2 to 3 people to 800. Don't work.
You better run for it. Run for it. Run.
Look, even at Walmart, right? Okay, they bum rush Walmart. What the Walmart checker gonna do?
I don't know, but this also like one of the first times since I've been alive. I don't know what I'm doing with my hair. The first time since I've been alive that there has been so many vacant seats. I have never seen our government publicly this way. I'm gonna say that because usually they try to hide stuff. So one thing I can say with your president in office, what he does is everything is full transparent for the world to see how jacked up it really is. Because I've never seen this many people step down. I've never seen this many people. I haven't these many vacant positions for such crucial roles of operations for this country, and they just don't care to fill them out of spite. It's just so many things that it's just crazy to me.
Yeah, because
your president.
that dude, that president, right? Yeah, he's about as transparent as the sheet that he wears over his head. Okay, that cone sheet that he wears over his head that says K, that spells out KKK. Okay, we already know that he's part of that group, but
and he bring them all to the forefront every chance to get. They out.
Yeah, they out.
Did you just see them marching?
Yeah, the Patriot Front, that Patriot Front, which is a joke.
Listen.
They were there in DC at 4th of July, you know, that iconic scene with the black girls on the bus, and they were all surrounded her, you know, and I don't know how she felt. I'd have been nervous.
Yeah, she looked like she was. Because just imagine, you don't know what they're
Right.
thinking or if they were already plotting on you.
Right.
You're literally she had nowhere to go.
Right. She had nowhere to go. She strapped
And
on that bus.
that was so threatening. And
Yeah.
it was just I think anybody would have been uncomfortable.
Yeah. I'd have been very
And
uncomfortable.
they thought it was funny.
Yeah. But you know what though? The funny part about it is it was what 90 some odd degrees in DC, right? Okay. What the hell you doing wearing that hot ass gear covering your face in 90-degree weather?
You know why? Because some of them whole positions are now military and now government
Yeah.
and they're now hospitals and so many others. They don't want their face shown, but they're so proud.
Yeah, and you know what position they were holding? They were throwing up all over each other. They were passing out. You know what position they were holding when they were passing out? They were laying down.
Keep out the sun. Keep out the sun.
That's what position they were holding. They were laying down, vomiting. Oh, I can't take this heat. And speaking of which, you see what's going on over in Europe, right?
How's it?
Which one?
How's it?
So much.
The heat wave over in Europe, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you think over there. Hot.
Mm-hmm.
Some like it hot, some like it hot.
And guess who? And guess who ain't suffering from the heat wave?
Cool.
Me.
Mm-hmm.
Us. You want to know why?
Why, Karen?
It's called melanin. 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 They ain't got none. They gonna burn to death. They gonna look like Red Lobster. Go die from skin cancer. And all of a sudden they just gonna pass out. Oh, it's too hot out here. The sun. Somebody turn down the sun. No. Don't turn down the sun. Turn that motherfucker up.
You know, Q, I got some of that melanin that you're talking about. I got a lot of it.
Yeah, I got a
And,
lot of melanin too.
But hear me out. My ass was hot and I was sweating. I was sweating.
It was like 111.
Hey, Paul, you ain't told not one goddamn lie. Now, while we're on the subjects of no, I was not stinking, but several people was today. And I don't understand because they told us before it was going to be hot outside, that it was going to be hot outside. So everybody should have prepared. Everybody should have prepared. Everybody should have. And I understand that not everybody can. But if you could, you should have prepared for that. Meaning, deodorant.
Those are the people right there.
So
They choose to be natural, which is a
water. This ain't the time to choose. It should be mandatory. It shouldn't even be a freaking choice if you want to wash your ass on a hot day. It should be mandatory. You know, let me just say it here. Let me say it here for you people. When they say anything above, when they say it's gonna be 100 degrees, but it's gonna feel like, that means it is mandatory that you touch some kind of water. That they, I don't care if it's a freaking faucet at a sink. You get in there and you do the thing that you can do. You take a piece of tissue and use your hand if you got to, but you gotta do something. And also,
Did you say a piece of tissue?
yeah, listen for real, because I ain't one.
Fall apart,
For real.
man. You don't use tissue. Wait a minute. You don't use tissue.
Listen.
A piece of tissue.
First of all, I am a woman, and we will make anything work as woman to woman, woman to man. Y'all know us women will make anything work. First of all, you don't just use a pieces. You take the tissue and you wrap it till it get to a layer, and then you wet it, and then you don't squeeze it. You gotta dab the water out of it to make you a surface.
Tell them. Tell
I'm just
you.
saying, struggle
Uh-uh.
101 when you
Take
need it.
several pieces of tissue. Because I said a piece of
You
tissue.
better get some
Hey,
balance.
listen. First of all, you better do something. You better do something because something is better than nothing.
Everybody else said no. We not doing that shit.
We is doing the G. Hey,
No.
listen, we is doing the hair radio. I'm telling facts because some of the smells that I was smelling today, and it wasn't the women. It wasn't even, it was you. It wasn't even the women. I'm talking about you men. You need to take that. If y'all don't know, see, because us women, we know how to get in
Yeah,
there and make something out of nothing in them bathrooms. Y'all be the
yeah.
ones still walking out there with the tissue in between your booty cracks and all that.
No,
Y'all need to
you know
learn
what I
how to
hate?
layer.
Talking
You know
about
what
I
I
work
hate?
hard
They
today. I
You know
don't
what I
better
hate?
everybody be doing.
work.
What I don't understand is with all the heat and all of this, right? The brothers that I have to like pick up. Okay, it's already hot outside. You smelling like heat, blunt paper, and weed
Mhm.
coming
I
in my
already smell
cup.
like that, then ass.
No,
Ass.
it
That's
smells
not a
like
good
ass.
smell.
It smells like ass.
Smell. I remember my son had got off work one day, came in here. I said, I know the fuck you lying, trying to hug me. You better go down there and get that water. Because ain't no work.
Yeah, like
Hey,
what's
hello,
up with that?
hello.
It's called
Like
work.
no,
Baby.
for
I
real.
don't
And
think
I
you want
understand
your
that
work.
it
That's
may
not good.
it may be some people religion, whatever. I don't know. It could be just I don't know, man. But I'm just
We're gonna
saying, like
leave no
it just
days.
seemed like every hot day I
We
discover a
should have
new
put the
smell
water on.
outside, and it outside, inside, it don't even matter. You feel me? Like people just hygiene, and that's the one thing the Asians got up on. That's real well hygiene.
Hmm.
They practice that to the T.
Yeah, but Paul, there are some
Dirt is not religion.
that
It
don't
should be.
like
Dirt is
deodorant,
contagious
like
though.
that.
It's
That
not religion,
it's just
but it's
like that
contagious.
natural body odor, and they don't be right. And but to them is so. There's some cultures like how we use like deodorant and stuff. We stink, but their natural body odor, they rather smell that because they do that, and we don't like that. But that's their thing, and
Look,
yeah.
That's
I
the
don't like
You
I,
need
Neanderthal.
Vortex or
The
something. This ain't the time to be testing the, if
Neanderthal.
how much your body don't listen. We're gonna do
That's
it.
the
You need Vortex.
Neanderthal. Cave
they
people.
say they say that's pheromones, right?
Yeah, that's the Neanderthal.
What?
That's
That's
that they
What's supposed to
Neanderthal.
make you throw up?
yeah,
No,
that's pheromones. That's pheromones.
that's,
That's talking about that's pheromones. I was like,
that's
I don't care if
the
it's I don't care if it's
That
pheromones. I don't care if it's
can't be
hormones. I don't care if it's hormones.
Paul,
pheromone.
hold up,
Right.
Paul. And Radio said, "Look, I gotta read this in his voice. Look, one thing about me, I don't mind telling a woman that she should take a shower when she is in my my presence."
yeah. You get the
Listen,
wrong
you better
Nobody,
cause what is
yeah,
going on here?
nobody wants to smell a hot tuna on a summer day. Okay.
Nobody will smell hot cheese, goat cheese on the summer day neither.
Look,
Yeah.
hot tuna fish on a summer day. That's a
Men
no
don't come
go.
better.
Thank
But
you.
Men be want, men be want,
Don't take
these
your
men
shoes
nowadays,
off if
hold up,
you know your feet stink.
because hold up. These men nowadays, they want to be pampered by women. So, if you want to be the little pampered person and whatnot, then the least you could do is wash your behind. Bath
Mm-hmm.
and body. Bath and body. Bath and body. It don't hurt nobody.
no, but these women are
Yeah.
Bad that
Put
bite
the
don't hurt
water.
nobody.
from what I'm seeing, because I see like a
It
lot of
ain't gonna hurt nobody.
it ain't even
Get
just
that
young.
bad. It
It's,
ain't gonna hurt
it's
nobody.
not even just young couples, some older couples too.
That won't stop me.
You may see some women accepting dirty, dirty dudes, and you'd be like, "Well, what the hell?" Because I remember there was a time where if you was dirty, you was dirty. You couldn't get no woman. Now you see little dirt balls with some
Looking
gorgeous.
like up here looking like Pigpen from
Get in the
Peanuts.
shower or take a wash his clothes or nothing like that. So
Yeah. Up here looking like Pigpen. You know, you remember Pigpen from Charlie Brown? Dude walked around in a cloud of dirt and dust everywhere he went. I said, man, imagine the funk off Pigpen. Can you imagine
I
that
don't want
smell?
to. I know. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. What? No, absolutely not. It's green. It's green. It was like, no.
I feel every time, like, I had a Lyft customer who had the worst breath, right? It's already hot outside. I let my windows down. I don't like running my air if I can help it, because the air it runs up the gas. It causes you to burn. It does burn gas and electricity. I'm trying to, like, when I'm driving, I'm trying to have the windows down, and plus I like to hit fresh air and have my music blasting so they know I'm coming anyway. So I had a guy enter my car, and this guy was talking to me, and I was like, God. I said, man, what did you eat today? He's like, what you mean? I said, man, look, I don't know if you had shit sticks or Twinkies, but hey, man, chew on this air freshener real quick. I gave him one of them triangle one of them tree air fresheners. I said, chew on that. He was like, are you trying to be funny? I said, nah, man, your breath stinks. I'm not going to talk to you for the rest of the ride. I don't care if you tip me or not, because your breath is stinking. And it's messing with my concentration.
Yeah, I don't like that. I feel like when your breath, because when your breath stink, it don't taste right. And
you be sitting there tasting it.
Why you keep trying to talk to me? Now, if I can smell your breath from a distance, like let's say if I go into somebody's office, right, and you at your desk, and I'm like by the door, I shouldn't smell breath.
Their taste buds are dead. Their taste buds are so dead that when they breath come out their mouth, it bypasses their nose and they can't smell it.
Every time they talk, right, their teeth start moving out of the way.
Thank God I ain't got no teeth. I don't have no teeth.
Surprise for you. People with no teeth, their breath be smelling the worst too sometimes. So
I keep Tic Tacs on me at all times.
They must drink alcohol or something, because I'll make sure mine stay straight. Yeah, they must be alcoholics and cigarette smokers or something.
Yeah, I keep Tic Tacs on me at all times.
Smell like yesterday's coffee grinds and all that stuff.
Yeah. When I pick up people, especially.
But then this is my thing, and then I know we gotta go. Yeah. You smell your breath in yourself before other people do. Now, when it come out your mouth, your nose right there, so it went that you got a whiff, and you choose to keep talking. And I know you can tell when somebody know your breath stink, because they be like.
You can taste it, Coco. You can taste that shit.
You know how I know somebody's breath stink? I see their nose hairs doing this.
And this person is holding their breath, and you just will not let up. I don't like that. But anywho, guys, we gotta get ready to go. Let's say that.
Yeah, they should stand in front of the mirror every morning, and then they get the first ones to be able to see how their breath come out their mouth.
Put on a mask. Put on a mask. That'll tell you.
Well,
when they see a cloud come out in the mirror, then it's time for you to go home and brush your mouth. Gargle in the bathtub or something.
Hold up. It wasn't even Jude tonight. I mean, Q tonight. It was Jude. So thank you, Jude, for the last 20 minutes being a hot-ass mess of funk. And what we will say is thank you to Mark Wilson, J Bell, Wendy, Daytrick, if it's somebody else I forgot, I know I saw a couple of people. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for participating, commenting, and the engagement. We appreciate everyone. We love you all for consistently supporting us. We will see you guys Monday at 8 p.m. So we hope you all have a good night. Thank you.
Night.
Guys.
Peace.